Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the East Bayfield Community Center for tonight's Playdown matchup between the New Tecumseh Ice Cats and the Barrie Sharks. I'm your host, Josh McCann. Thanks so much for joining us here on a Thursday evening with a 9 o'clock start here from the East Bayfield Community Center. This is game one between these two teams. They will rematch on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. down at the Trison Center in New Tecumseh. Of course, the winner of this series moves on as they try and make it to the provincial championships weekend of April 7th to 10th. For the Sharks, they finished fourth in the regular season standings at a record of 10-7-5. New Tecumseh finished ninth at a record of 0-20-2. Barrie opened up their playoffs with a bit of a tough matchup, taking on the one-seed Central York Panthers, and it got off to a tricky start, losing game one by a score of 3-0. They were able to fight back to win game two here by a score of 2-0 before heading down on the road to Aurora to beat the Panthers by a score of 3-2 and advance to the second round of the playoffs, where they'll be taking on the North York Storm in another best-of-3 battle as they look to continue on in their hunt to making it towards championship weekend. This is the fourth matchup of the year between these two teams. The Sharks won all three of their meetings, but each game got closer and closer as the year went on. Their first meeting was December 21st down in New Tecumseh. That was a 6-0 Sharks win. The teams rematched on a month later at January 22nd. It was the Sharks hosting that game and winning that game by 3-0. And for the final matchup of the year, February 14th, the final matchup for both teams in the regular season on that final weekend down in New Tecumseh. That was a much tighter game, finishing by a score of 2-1. See what happens here tonight as the Sharks get set for their first matchup of this Playdown series between the Sharks and the Ice Cats. Just a minute left on the clock, and then we will get set for puck drop between these two teams. Regular roster tonight for the Sharks. No call-ups here today. Buzzer goes and we get set for action here from the East Bayfield Community Center on this Thursday evening. In net for the Sharks will be number 1, Abby Harder. In net for New Tecumseh will be number 29, Quinn Rutler. Norris, Pinfield, Copeland, Scorgiello, and Montgomery out there for the opening for the Sharks. Taking the draw for New Tecumseh will be number 84, Sydney Little, as we are set to go and we are underway from the East Bayfield Community Center. Montgomery with the puck slid across to Scorgiello, who flips it up the boards back the other way. Kirk is there, touched by Norris, and that'll be an offside 9 seconds into the game. Another face-off won by Copeland as Norris is able to get it up the wing. Norris giving off to Copeland, back to the point for Scorgiello. She'll send a shot in, looking for a deflection. It's knocked down. Montgomery trying to catch up to it, tip, and taken back the other way by the Ice Cats. Up the wing, fired into the zone, and down behind the net. Scorgiello goes into the boards by Aikens. And the puck now are the Ice Wolves down the corner. Sanis on the puck, still has it. Guiding it back to the point. Kirk looking to send it to the net. That's blocked by Montgomery. Puck goes to the corner. Pinfold is there, flipping it out back the other way. The Sharks will look to make a change. Ice Cats back on it. Coming into the zone is Karopoulos. She gets it down behind the net. Montgomery is there. Pass ahead, knocked away. Foul for it up the boards. Tecumseh able to keep it in the zone. Knocked down, maybe a chance for Karopoulos if she can get it loose, but no. Sharks get it back. Charlotte Cooch trying to send it back out the other way. Blocked off by Santoriza. Sharks knock it down again, back the other way comes Ella Shoebridge. Shoebridge up the wing into the zone, one-on-one, steps up, takes the shot, stopped there by Rutledge. Rebound coming around, centering pass for Cooch, she scores! 1-0 for the Sharks right off the bat. Charlotte Cooch opening the scoring. Tecumseh had a strong start, forcing that puck into the Shark end and kind of holding it there for a bit, but the Sharks able to respond, getting the first goal of this game a minute 20 in. Charlotte Coots with the goal. Shoebridge will get the assist. And Barrie is off and running to a 1-0 lead. Olmec trying to get it down low. That's intercepted by Whitaker. Whitaker trying to get it out the other way. Collision there at the blue line between Boos and Jacobs. Flipping it forward to Stewart. Trying to get it ahead for Polaire, and there was Dahlia Coots, that's knocked down. Boots off the boards for Homick. She'll grab possession, spins back, trying to find some open ice. Sally Homick off the boards, right back into the New Tecumseh end. They take the puck, knocked up the middle for Thorpe, that's turned over. Homick trying to glide through two there, knocked down, able to get it back. Homick drives the net, stopped by Rutledge. Down goes to Jacobs, she'll play it off the boards, out back the other way, grabbed by Copeland in the neutral zone, knocked back to Montgomery, who has a ton of space to come through the middle. Montgomery into the zone, takes the shot, blocked away by Rutledge. Down goes to the corner. Here's Pinfold getting it down low. Out there by New Tecumseh, quickly turned over. Copeland looking to go back to the point for Montgomery. That one misses, and he'll head back down the other way. Getting there is Harder. She gives it to Montgomery, looking for Danny Jackson. She goes into the boards hard there with Aikens. The two of them go down. Penalty coming. So we'll get a whistle here. And looks like the Sharks are going to get the opening power play of this one. So it's Aikens for interference. Here the Sharks will get their first look on the power play, trying to lead, but it's knocked out back the other way. Maybe a chance for New Tecumseh in all alone up the wing. Backhander stopped by Harder. A big save there, whistled down right away. But what a huge save there by Harder to keep this game at 1-0. Off the face-off, Stewart spins back, gets it across to Scorgiello. Played up the wing. Norris is there, getting it to Scorgiello and knocked into the New Tecumseh end. Down behind the net, Taylor playing it forward. Seatsanis trying to get back. She's taken down. Norris knocks it down behind the net. Taylor's there for New Tecumseh, trying to clear, but kept in. Puck goes around the boards to Kirk, looking to clear it out the other way, blocked off by Walker. Shea Walker getting it back for the Sharks. A minute 19 left on the power play. Walker back to the point, scores yellow. Looks at the net, slides it across. Stewart trying to flip it to the middle. It's deflected and knocked down. Puck's loose, clearing attempt, kept in by scores yellow. She'll step up, plays it across for Walker. Walker up the side, takes the shot, stopped by Rutledge. And a whistle. 57 seconds gone by on the power play. Couple good looks there for the Sharks here. Bouncing back after a early opportunity shorthanded for the Ice Wolves. Anna Polarin will take the draw. Off the face-off, Delia Coots does a nice job getting in there, knocks it back to the point for Boos. Boos, driving the point, gets it across. Jackson back to Boos, stepping up, goes across. Delia Coots. Coots with possession on the point now. Coming up, 50 seconds to go. Coots waiting, still has it, gets it across. Jackson back to Coots, has some space, she'll step up, takes the shot block. Second chance, sent wide. Clean attempt by the Ice Wolves is successful. Sent down the ice back the other way by Karopoulos. 35 seconds left in the power play. Coots will take possession, going ahead for Polarin. Knocking it back the other way, sent into the zone though by Miller for the Ice Wolves. Coots now going to slow it down. Karopoulos coming after her. She'll wait behind her net, gets it out. Here's Boos. Boos flips it forward. Here's Holmick. Up the wing, working into the zone, maybe a 3-on-2. That's actually Polarin. Centering pass, one-timer Holmick, that went wide. Santoriza was in front of her and may have caused a deflection there. Holmick then colliding with the official. That's intercepted. Now back the other way. Here comes Newt Tecumseh as we're back 5-on-5. Getting into the zone there. Vandersfelt sends it wide. Centering pass now knocked down by Polarin. It's hard to see the Newt Tecumseh numbers with the goldish on the white. Puck goes back to the defense. Here's Wood. Sending it across. Flip through the middle. That got past Copeland. Goes down the ice for an icing with 10:07 to go. Copeland going to take the draw here against Thorpe. Off the face-off, Copeland winning it. Knocking it around, Pinfold sends it down behind the net. Getting there first is Kirk. Kirk trying to go up the wing, Norris keeps it in. Copeland looking to go back to the point, tipped by Whitaker. And it goes back down the other way. Montgomery is there for the Sharks, playing it forward. Pinfold trying to knock it ahead. Copeland now trying to slide it forward, that's intercepted. Flip back down the other way by Taylor. Down behind the net, backhander by Scorgiello, getting it across. Montgomery sent to the middle, back out the other way. Santoriza there for Newt Tecumseh to send it into the Shark end. That deflects off the boards, now back the other way. It's a 2-on-1. Charlotte Coots into the zone. Shea Walker's got the puck, trying to send it across to her, but that's knocked down. Now back the other way, quickly coming forward is Aikens. She'll knock it into the zone. Booth gets to the puck before her, is able to knock it out the other way for Walker. Quick pace to this one here in the early going. 6 minutes gone by. 1-0 Sharks your score. Schubert's going behind that centering pass for Walker. They tried to replicate the opening goal there. Flapper in by Stewart was knocked down. She keeps it in the zone, looking for Walker. Deflected wide. Aikens knocked out in the zone. Boos is there. Sent across for Stewart. She'll come up the wing, flipping it into the zone. Behind the net, coming out, Shoebridge. Able to knock it free. Newt Tecumseh playing it around the boards. Boost looking to keep it in. Getting there first is Aikens, and she's able to knock it back out the other way. Seat Samus into the zone. Taken down there by Stewart. Charlotte Coots able to get the puck back now for the Sharks. Coots up the boards for Walker, trying to knock it out of the zone. Coots gets it back. Spins off of the pressure from behind Karopoulos and gets it out of the zone. Now coming back into the zone, Ava Wood, nice work. Now a chance 2-on-1. Here's Wood, a chance, stopped by Harder. Good look there. Had Vander still up the wing as well. Holmick may have a break if the Sharks can get it out to her, but Delia Coots taken down, and Newt Tecumseh nearly able to keep it into the zone, but grabbed now by Holmick, back the other way. Nice move, working around Wood, still on her feet. Holmick, what a goal! Dangling through the defense, Ali Holmick makes it 2-0 on a beautiful play. So 2-0 for the Sharks. A great play there by Holmick, dangling through Wood. Get it down into the zone, looking for more here as puck's knocked into the zone. Got blocked off there for a second, and the puck will come out. Here's Jackson. That's for Polarin. That's knocked down by Whittaker. Jackson around the boards, getting it there. Is Montgomery trying to push it up ahead for Holmick. He's got the puck back now. Holmick across. Jackson up the wing, flipping it through the middle. Holmick getting there again. Maybe a 3-on-1 into the zone. Here's Holmick up the wing, takes the shot, deflected over top. Rebound chance comes loose. Sharks get it back. Here's Coots. Spinning back, has some space. She'll go across. Stewart back to the point. Scorgiello had room to step up, fumbled the puck, and then takes a tumble. Puck up the zone, knocked back to Coots. Delia Coots up the wing, takes the shot from a awkward angle there, and it goes wide. Here's Stewart. Flipping it down to the corner. It gets past Kirk. Coots in the corner now for Polarin. Polarin spinning it back to Coots. Trying to get it free of Kirk. It comes out to Jacobs. She'll go up the boards and out of the zone. Sharks get it back in the neutral zone. Scorgiello to Holmick into the zone. Around one. Taken down. That'll be a penalty. And the Sharks will go back to the power play for the second time tonight. So Sharks power play 0 for 1 on the evening. A chance here to make it 3-0. Both teams have had their chances early on. A couple of breakaways for Newt Tecumseh, but a couple of big saves by Harder. Sharks have gone back the other way each time and scored. Sharks will stop up. Here's Jackson up the wing for Boots. Played forward. Norris gets it into the zone. Quickly knocked out the other way by Little, who deflected down the ice, and now is going to be first to the puck. Has Aikens behind her. Little down in the corner. Jackson trying to knock it loose. Boost gets it back. Boost for Copeland. Nuts turned over. Aikens up the wing, coming into the zone. Behind the net. Boost trying to knock it free. Here's Aikens. Up the wing, fighting through Norris. Knocked back to the blue line as Newt Tecumseh is just trying to kill clock here. 1:05 left in the power play. Clearing attempt only made it halfway, but then the Sharks gave the puck right back. Norris, a collision there. Sharks able to get it back. Charlotte Coots up the wing. Getting it into the zone. Here's Coots. Coming around the defense, drops it back to the point. Montgomery will send a shot off the post. Best look there of the power play for the Sharks. Scorgiello tried to knock it down low. That's intercepted. And back the other way come the Ice Wolves. Or Ice Cats. That's sent off the boards into the zone. Down behind the net, Montgomery there for the Sharks, battling off the pressure. Here's Scorgiello with it. Scorgiello waits, spins back. 24 seconds left in the power play as the Sharks will bring it forward. Charlotte Coots openly scoring here. A minute and 20 seconds in. Here's Coots across. Walker has space. Shea Walker fights off the pressure. Backhander to Scorgiello, sending it to the net. Blocked but knocked down. Here's Coots. Spinning it back to the point. Scorgiello waits. She'll send a shot. That's blocked. Knocked down. Sharks get it back. Here on the point now, Stewart. Across for Scorgiello. 5-on-5. She'll send a shot. That's stopped there by Rutledge and a whistle. The face-off knocked down behind the net. Delia Coots fighting off the pressure, coming up the boards, going back to the point. Here's Boost. Stepping up, sends the shot. That's stopped there by Rutledge. Rebound goes to the corner. Taylor backhands it back the other way. Getting there first is Paige Kirk. Kirk goes up the boards, out the other way. Chasing after it there for the Ice Wolves. Sharks get it back. Holmick across. Delia Coots into the zone. 2-on-2. Coots tries to slide it out front. That's deflected behind the net by Kirk. She'll go around the boards, kept in the zone by Boost. Getting it to Polarin up the wing, fighting off the pressure. Puck's still loose. Holmick trying to jam it out, and she's able to get it free. Ali Holmick has space to drive the net. Her shot blocked by Taylor and sent wide. Stepping up on the play now, Jackson getting it to the net, looking for the backhander. That's wide. Excuse me, that was Stewart, not Jackson. Back the other way. Flipped forward by Vanderstelt. And out of the zone. Here's Stewart. Through the middle, puck comes ahead. Knocked down by Norris, dropping it back. Montgomery up ahead. Norris trying to knock it into the zone. Grabbed by Montgomery, backhanded into the zone. Down behind the net. Getting there first is Miller. She plays the head for Whitaker. Whitaker across. Santoriza into the zone. Stepping up. Her shot blocked by Montgomery and goes wide of the net. Jacobs trying to get it back to the Ice Cats. 3:05 to go here in the opening frame. 2-0 for the Sharks off the back of goals by Charlotte Coops and Ali Holmick. Montgomery, that's knocked down by Whitaker. Thorpe now going to bring it in the zone. Whitaker was a step too early. Thought she was going to come in, stayed out. Whitaker went in, and that's offside with 2:49 to go. Off the face-off, Walker knocks it back, flipped forward by Stewart. Collision there, right at the blue line. Both girls are good to go. Here's Stewart behind the net, backhanding it up the boards for Shoebridge. Didn't get enough on it. That'll create a scrum against the boards. 2-on-2 with Scorgiello behind, waiting to see where it goes. It ends up off the side of the net. Looks like we got a penalty coming. So we'll go against Shoebridge for the cross check. First look at the Ice Cats power play here. They've killed off a couple of Shark power plays to keep themselves in the game. Here's a chance deflected wide. Little was out front looking to knock it on net. Boost around the boards for Jackson. She has some room to clear. It's kicked off a skate and out back the other way. Polarin looking to knock it forward. Holmick would have been gone. Now 3-on-2 into the zone. Here's Aikens up the wing, sending it to the net. Blocked by Boost. Second chance put out front, stopped by Harder. Rebound Polarin looking to clear. She'll get it out. And the puck will head back down the other way. Less than 2 to go in the opening period. 22 seconds separating the power play and the period clock. Polarin knocks that one down. But the Ice Cats keep it up the wing. Seatsanis trying to get it into the zone. Knocked off the puck by Boost. She comes back, flips it to her defense. Played off the boards that hit Seatsanis in the knee. Now she'll have it, bringing it into the zone. 3-on-3 in. Holmick making a change. It's 5-on-3 for the moment. Kirk has space to step up. She'll wait. She'll shoot. Deflected wide by Karopoulos. Centering pass now by Aikens, knocked down. Seatsanis in the corner, pinned to the boards. Aikens able to knock it free, has space. Gets into the face-off dot, knocking it back to the point now. Kirk steps up, deflected. And that goes wide of the net. Holmick able to knock it back out the other way. Delia Coots. Flipped forward, knocked into the zone by Aikens. Puck goes down behind the net, scores yellow, up the boards and out of the zone. Taylor back in the neutral zone, played off the boards to Aikens into the zone. 28 seconds left in the power play, final minute of the opening period. Aikens just going to send it to the net as that's deflected over top by Pinfold. Coots looking to clear, she'll knock it back out the other way. Miller there for the Ice Cats, got it forward, but then Coots slaps it down the length of the ice. 10 seconds left in the power play. Scorgiello going to slap it in from the neutral zone. That goes wide of Rutledge. 5 seconds left in the power play. Norris putting on pressure. That goes to an open wing. Getting it there is Schlotzauer. She'll knock it down behind the net. We're back 5-on-5. Scorgiello with it. 15 seconds to go. One final rush for the Sharks. Nope, kept in by Miller. Flipped down behind the net. Montgomery there for the Sharks. Ice Cats are offside. Puck flipped back down the other way. Icing waved off due to a deflection. 3 seconds go. That's flipped up the boards, and that will do it. So 2-0 after the opening frame. Charlotte Coots, Ali Holmick with the goals for the Sharks. As the two teams are going to have their discussion. Both teams have power play opportunities. The Sharks 0 for 2. The Ice Cats 0 for 1 in game 1 of this playoff Playdown series. The second matchup will come March 1st at 10:30 a.m. down in New Tecumseh. fourth meeting of the season between the two teams. Sharks have won the season series 3-0, but each game's gotten closer and closer throughout the year. 6-0 Barrie, 3-0 Barrie, then 2-1 for the Sharks on the final day of the season. Of course, on top of this, the Sharks are still in the playoffs after taking 2 of 3 over Central York, losing game 1 3-0, winning game 2 2-0 for the deciding game, winning it 3-2 down in Aurora. They'll match up with the North York Storm, and then again the lower seed, so 2 of those games will be on the road, with a home game next Saturday in between. Of course, if the series does have to go 3 games. So 15 minutes back up on the clock. We're ready to go for the second period. Charlotte Coots open the scoring. She'll take the opening draw of the second period, and she wins it as we are back underway. Stewart with the puck. She'll flip it across to Shoebridge coming up the wing. Flipped in down behind the net. Walker chasing after it. Getting Taylor to the boards. Puck knocked free. Coots and Kirk come after it. Behind the net, Shoebridge trying to knock it free. Stepping up now is Stewart. Trying to keep it in down low, and she will. Grabbing it now is Little for Newt-Tecumseh. She comes around for Kirk, trying to send it out. That was broken up by Bruce down low. Abby Bruce going to come around the net. Still has possession, coming up to the point. Now back getting it down low for Walker. Walker to the point. Here's Stewart. Flips it to open ice. Bruce will step up, coming towards it. Watches Little as she gets it back to the point for Walker. Off the boards, around Aikens. Walker still possession. Gets around Little now, try to get it to the middle. Aikens intercepts, penalty coming here. It's going to be against the Ice Cats. Puck goes down behind the net, touched by Taylor. And the Sharks will get their 3rd power play of the game due to a hook. Page comes to the box for hooking the Sharks power play. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Newt-Tecumseh able to win the draw. Santoriza behind the net. Dahlia Coots with her there as it's Holmick knocking it free. She'll get it back to the point. Montgomery riding the line, waiting, shooting. That goes wide of the net. Polarin trying to get it free. She's tied up. Gets it to an open corner. Jackson hesitated. It's now the puck in the corner. 2 Sharks, 1 Ice Cat. Trying to knock it free, and that'll be whistled dead with 1:37 left in the power play. Off the face-off, Miller down low. Holmick coming after it, pinning her to the boards. Polarin able to get it free. Clearing attempt back to the point. Comes out as Schultzhauser gets it out the other way. Montgomery behind their own net, 1:20 to go, playing it up ahead for Polarin. Cross-ice feed to Jackson coming up the wing. Jackson to the middle, Holmick. Holmick waits, drops it back. Montgomery has some space, gets it across, knocked forward by Jackson into the zone. Comes right back out. Jackson to Polarin, has space up the wing. Cross-ice feed into the zone. Dahlia Coots comes in on side, trying to slide it to Holmick. That was deflected, goes down behind the net. Getting there first is Miller. Puck knocked free by the Sharks. Coots able to get it back. 50 seconds left in the power play. Coots coming up to the point. Waiting, stepping up and shooting. That was stopped there. Rebound Stewart. Just swing it up the wing, sending it across for Jackson. Lost it, tipped forward, knocked out, back the other way now, race for the puck. Karopoulos coming after it. Stewart will be much faster, gets up ahead, and is able to get the puck back. So them collide there as the Sharks will take it back the other way. Here comes Coots up the wing, 20 seconds to go in the power play. Dahlia Coots into the zone, up the wing, 2-on-3 for now as the Sharks make changes. Coots still with it, taking a lap. Come up to a point, drops it across. Stewart, 10 seconds left. Stewart up the wing. She'll shoot. That's stopped there by Rutledge. Rebound goes to the corner. Clearing attempt kept in by Scorgiello. Trying to send it to the net. That was blocked. Here's Norris working around Vanderstelt. Now 5-on-5. Norris down low behind the net, flipping it out front for Pinfold. That's knocked down. Puck comes to the middle. Clearing attempt's going to fail as Scorgiello keeps it in. Puck goes down behind the net. Copeland trying to get in there behind Danellis. It's knocked to the corner. Pinfold wraps it around. Seat Santa's trying to get there. Scorgiello gets there first. Knocked down behind the net. Pinfold. She'll come around, spinning back, forcing it out all the way to the point. Scorgiello. Scorgiello down low to Copeland. It's not a power play anymore, but the Sharks have kept up the pressure. Pinfold trying to slide up front. She was blocked off by Danellis. Clearing attempt though fails. Boost able to keep it in. She'll play it off the boards, down the corner behind the net for Pinfold. Pinfold trying to slide it out front. That's knocked down. Grabbed now by Norris. Into the boards, grabbed by Kirk. Flipped out back the other way. Shoots Santos up the boards. Knocked down by Boost at the blue line. And she'll come right back into the zone. Sharks trying to keep up the pressure. They were making a change, and now they got caught on a bad change. Here comes Tasit Santos playing it forward, 2-on-1 into the zone with Whitaker. Whitaker trying to send it to the net, deflected and stopped by Harder. Sharks may have got caught there. Deflection and the glove save by Harder keeps this game at 2-0. On the faceoff, won by Coots. Jackson knocks it back for Montgomery. Up the boards, here's Shubrich. Knocking it back. Jackson to Walker. Knocks it back, Jackson to Montgomery. Up ahead, Shubrich. Played down low to the corner, here's Jackson. Knocked down, Whitaker spinning around, sliding it out front, that's knocked down. It's Jackson broken up. Montgomery. Knocked down. Whitaker knocks it ahead. Trying to play it into the zone. Walker trying to get it. She's tripped up. That'll be a penalty. Not much doubt about that. Here comes Montgomery into the zone. Getting around two. Still has possession. Into the boards. Touched up. And once again, the Sharks will go to the power play. That'll be Jacobs heading to the box. Off the face-off, Stewart up the wing, steps up, sending it across. Delia Coots to the middle, cross for Boost. To the middle, Coots. Cross for Stewart, she'll step up, takes the shot, denied, rebound, scores! Abby Boost came down low, she pots it home, power play goal for the Sharks, and it's 3-0. Off the face-off, knocked back. Boost, flipped through the middle, intercepted by Danellis, trying to come into the zone. 3-0 for the Sharks. Need to come, so let's try to get back in this game. That goes wide. Here's Wood stepping up, flipping it down low. Intercepted by the Sharks. Upplay to the middle, Homick intercepts. Grabs the puck, flipping it back out the other way. Power play is now 4-1 in favor of the Sharks, and it took their power play number 4, but that's the thing. If you're not going to be discipline, eventually those power plays going to catch up to you. The Sharks do eventually strike. Abby Boost with the power play goal, 3-0 for Barrie. 9 minutes to go here in the second period. Still plenty of time to go in this game. 24 minutes total when you add in the third period. Here's Homick giving off to Polarin, knocks it back to the point. Scorgiello, a shot stopped by Rutledge. Rebound sitting there, but Little able to get there first over Polarin. Scorgiello knocked out of the zone. Aikens trying to go back the other way. Now grabbed by Tasit Santos into the zone, trying to work around Montgomery. She gets the puck past her and now will catch up to it. Her and Scorgiello tied up. Puck flipped out back the other way. It'll go down the length of the ice. It got deflected. Behind the net, Norris is going to beat out both Ice Cats. Trying to get it around. Kirk is there. Knocked loose. Puck played to the middle. Grabbed by Schlotzauer into the zone. Garopolis pinned to the boards. Puck knocked free, Copeland. Plays it ahead, Norris. Cross for Pinfold. Flipped in down behind the net, and that is stopped with 8:01 to go. Off the face-off, pushed down behind the net. Pinfold and Miller collide. Copeland looking to go back to the point. Jackson. Knocked down to Copeland. Behind the net now, Pinfold. Working her way around. 8 minutes to go here in the second period. 3-0 for the Sharks. Copeland trying to get it free. She will. Here's Copeland up the wing. Pushing it down behind the net and around the boards to Boos. Boos trying to knock it down low. Broken up, flipped out of the zone, back the other way. And sent ahead. Here's Norris, sent up into the boards and whistled down. On the face-off, Coots wins the draw. Here's Stewart. Knocked down, Walker off the boards, that's intercepted. Whitaker is there, couldn't clear. Charlotte Coots has one tonight, trying to knock it forward. It's knocked down, flipped back around the boards by Miller. Stewart steps up, she'll keep it in. It's taken down in the process. Walker trying to knock it free. Jacobs is there for the Ice Caps as well. It's knocked loose by Shea Walker. Behind the net, she's sent into the boards. Back the other way comes Duke Tecumseh up the wing. It's Santariza. Into the zone, penalty coming to the Sharks. Behind the play, it looks like that's going to be a trip. And as the other four skate off, Charlotte Coots stays near the penalty box and she'll head in for the trip. That delay, the clock was wrong. The 2 minutes was on the Tecumseh side, so it goes to the Barrie side. Ice Cats power play, 0 for 1 on the evening, trying to get back in the game as that goes wide of the net. Deflection right out front by Chazitzanis. Up the boards, Demelis back to Little. Sydney Little back to the point. Demelis steps up, she'll slap, shot it. Stopped by Harder. On the face-off, Chazitzanis back to the point. Wood down low, behind the net, Little around the boards. Chazitzanis back to the point. Holmick couldn't get it out. Puck comes back to Jackson, looking to clear, and this one will come out the other way. Battle for it. Holmick with Demelis. Puck knocked free for Little. Behind the net, up the wing. Puck goes down the other way, and that will be icing. Kirk around the boards for Taylor. 5:59 to go here in the second period. 1:07 left in the power play. Up the wing, Kirk across for Taylor. Played through the middle into the zone. Vanderstelt sends a shot, stopped there by Harder. Puck goes into the corner. Penalty coming to the Sharks, and it's going to be 5-on-3 here. Stearns is the call. So 5-on-3 for 51 seconds here. Huge opportunity for the Ice Cats. Down by 3, 5:41 to go. Montgomery off the boards. Whittaker tried to go back to the point. It escapes Taylor and comes out the other way. Taylor across for Kirk. Back to Taylor. Through the middle. Knocked down by Copeland. Cleared back. Taylor blocks it at the red line. Big collision there. Penalty coming. Body checking is the call against Taylor. And then that 5-on-3 is going to turn into a 4-on-3. It comes with us too many players out there right now. Copeland on the face-off, won by New Tecumseh. So just to clear things up, it'll be 4-on-3 for the next 25 seconds. And then about a minute 10 of 4-on-4 before a 20-second Shark power play. As it's Taylor going to the box for body checking. Copeland is a bit confused because Taylor ran into her, thought she was getting the penalty, but then that was obviously cleared up with Taylor heading to the box. Vanderstelt knocks it into the zone. Maybe a chance here for New Tecumseh off the crossbar. What a look there. Now 4-on-4. Coots back into play. Here's Vanderstelt deflected wide. Rebound knocked free by Montgomery. Here's a chance again. Deflected and stopped by Harder. Minute 4-on-4 here. Thorpe across. Wide open. Here's a chance. Sending it across for Miller. Knocked down. Chance out front. Backhander broken up. Harder trying to dive on it. Puck was loose. And they whistle it down. Some big saves by Harder there. And Tecumseh parents not happy that the whistle was called with the puck loose. Not sure why they'd be upset about that because the Sharks were clearing the puck anyway, so it kind of benefits them. Anyway, face-off won by the Ice Wolves. 48 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Wood across. Demelis up the wing. Sent to the middle, coming into the zone. Thorpe blocked off by Boos. Up the wing, coming into the zone. Ice Cat player goes down, centering pass for Holmick, and it goes wide. Really a chance to make it 4-0. Back the other way, here comes Thorpe. Keep in mind, open ice, 4-on-4 here. Thorpe into the zone, looking for the shot, knocked down and deflected wide. Delia Coots with the puck, laid ahead for Holmick. Couldn't get it past Wood this time. Kept into the zone. Thorpe knocking it to the middle, only one there is Boos. She'll flip it ahead. Holmick trying to knock it out. Stewart's out in 5 seconds. Then it'll be a Shark power play for 21 seconds. 5-on-4 for the Sharks. Stewart heading off. Sharks trying to play it forward. Here they come. Jackson up the wing into the zone. Danny Jackson to the middle. Cuts it across. Holmick. And a drop back. Waiting on the line. Back to scores yellow. Quickly knocked down low to Copeland. 3 seconds left in the power play. Puck comes around for Wood. Pinfield trying to keep it in. Grabbed there by Little. Knocked down behind the net. Here's Copeland. Waiting, trying to send it out front. That's knocked down. Wood comes around the board. Scorgiello keeping it in. Puck goes down behind the net. Thorpe couldn't get it. Montgomery now. Knocked down low for Pinfold. Final 3 minutes here of the second period. 3-0 for the Sharks. Abby Bruce adding a goal here this period. Here's Pinfold. Up the wing. Coming down low. Spinning back now. Pinfold. Knocked down behind the net. Copeland trying to center for Norris. Broken up. Kicked around. Battle for it. Pinfold gets it behind the net. Copeland trying to get it. Wood is there, and she'll float it back out the other way. Here's Montgomery up the wing, coming into the zone. Sharks got to get on side. They are. Montgomery across. Norris, not enough on that pass, and sent up back the other way. Here comes Vanderstelt up the wing. 1-on-1 against Scorgiello. Vanderstelt looking for the shot. That was blocked off. Montgomery now pushing it forward. Walker couldn't get to it in time, and it'll come back into the Shark end. Charlotte Coots with the puck. Really turned over. Norris will flip it ahead. Maybe a break. Shea Walker's got it on her stick. Chasing after here. Here's a chance. Walker, look at the shot, and a great diving play there by Santoriso to negate that chance. Puck flipped back down the other way. It's waved off. Here's Stewart with the puck. 1:45 to go. Let's knock back around for Boos. Boos played ahead. Battle for it. Dropped there by Schubridge. Schubridge to Miller. Up the wing, trying to send it to the net. That was knocked down. Grabbed there by Charlotte Coots. Comes around the boards. Here's Walker. Her cross knocked away. Battle for it. Boost trying to get it down low. Up at the point. Here's a shot deflected. Stopped by Harder. Stuart Aikens battle for it. Puck comes to the net. Stopped by Harder. Flip back out the other way. The puck will go down the ice. Final minute here of the second period. 3-0 for the Sharks. Pushing there between Coots and Aikens. Charlotte Coots gets it back for Boos. As the Sharks try and add to their lead, Schubridge flips it into the zone. This puck goes down behind the net. Santoriso there, goes up the boards, kept in the zone by Montgomery. Here's Polarin, backhanded to the middle, grabbed by the Ice Cats. Off the boards, out back the other way by Miller. And knocked down the ice. 35 seconds to go. Here's Montgomery. Coming through the middle. Keeping it on her stick. Montgomery into the zone. Tried to drop to Dahlia Coots. That's knocked down. Battle for it. Thorpe trying to get it free. Knocked loose. Polarin to Holmick. Knocked down behind the net. Or in front of the net, sorry. Flipped out the other way. 15 seconds to go. Icing waved off. Sharks will have to bring it all the way back. Jackson. Cross. Played forward, it comes out. Montgomery with it. Flipped ahead, and that will do it. So 3-0 for the Sharks on the backs of goals from Charlotte Coots, Ali Holmick, and a power play marker for Abby Boos. It's 3-0 as we go to the third period. Hope you'll join us back after a quick intermission. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third and final period of this one between the Barrie Sharks and the New Tecumseh Ice Cats. We currently sit at a score of 3-0 in favor of the Sharks. A pair of early goals. Charlotte Coots opening the scoring a minute 20 in. Then it was Ali Holmick with a great deep around the Ice Cats defender, finding the back of the net to make it 2-0. And then Abby Boos, perfect spot on the power play, sitting right out front for the rebound. Taps it in to make it 3-0 for the Sharks, and that's where we stand after 2 periods. Sharks have had 5 power plays tonight. They've converted on 1 of them. New Tecumseh has had 3. They're 0 for 3. First game of the series between these two teams. They'll rematch on Sunday, 10:30 a.m. down in New Tecumseh. Sharks are also in the middle of playoffs right now, so they'll try and work towards championship weekend. Currently in round 2 against North York Storm, but they're focused on closing this one out right now. Final 15 minutes. New Tecumseh are going to pull off a big 3-0 comeback. The Sharks are going to hold on to this game. That puck just got stuck. So it was Kirk trying to clear. Puck flipped down into the corner. Here's Norris down behind the net. Gets it around Copeland. Back to Norris. Norris down low. Copeland behind the net. Pinfold trying to knock it free. Back at the boards, Norris to the middle, Little plays ahead to Tsitsanis. Off the boards into the Ice Cats end, the Shark end, sorry. Walker, Copeland, can go back down the other way. Walker is there, trying to knock it into the zone. It's interrupted, sent out back to the middle. Boost has got it for the Sharks. She'll come into the zone. Boost to the middle. Takes the shot. Stopped by Rutledge. Rebound coming around. Flipped ahead. Out back the other way. It's in Stewart's skates. Knocked down. Karopoulos now going to bring it into the zone. Maybe an opportunity, but she lost the handle on it. Karopoulos down low. Knocked down. Grabbed there by Charlotte Coots. Coots overskates that one. It gets stuck again. Alford down in the corner. Coots able to get it back. Puck flipped forward. Knocked back to the point. Walker off the boards and out back the other way. Penalty coming to the Sharks. This one's going to come against Walker. Off the boards. Knocked into the zone by Vanderstout. Puck down behind the net. Stewart will touch. And we'll go 5-on-4 once again. This New Tech power play 0 for 3 on the evening. Between the two teams, this is our combined 9th power play. Barrie tonight. Montgomery around the boards. Puck got stuck again. And it's still stuck. Puck slipped up the boards as goes back to the point. Here's Whitaker flipping it in on net. Stopped by Harder. Rebound Thorpe. Back to the point. Santorizo's shot blocked. Back to Whitaker. Knocked down. Tip to the middle. Holmick with possession. Looking to go back the other way. She'll flip it forward. Out back down the other way. Down behind the net. Rutledge is there. She'll play it around the boards. Thorpe getting around. Taking a skate back the other way. Thorpe into the zone. Knocked down by Montgomery. Getting it back. Flipping it out the other way. Deflected and down the ice. Wood behind her own net, 1:07 to go. Pass across, Little's open. She'll take a skate up the wing. Minute left in the power play. Tsitsanis. Cross ice feed, here's a chance. Shot stopped by Harder. Rebound again, deflected, Harder to save. Puck goes down behind the net. Boosh trying to get it free. Battle for it, knocked down. Stewart off the boards, out back the other way, and down the length of the ice. Rutledge is there. She'll leave it for Wood. 30 seconds to go. Puck goes up the boards, out of the zone, slapped back in by Stewart. Pinful to get on side, and then chase after Wood. Wood to Lil, pass across the ice. Nearly intercepted by Copeland. Here's Aikens up the wing, tipping it into the zone. Knocked down low behind the net. Aikens and Montgomery battle for it. Now it's Tsitsanis getting it, giving it to Karopoulos. Karopoulos around a couple, gets a lane to the net. Stopped by Harder. And the whistle. 2 seconds left in the power play. Off the face-off, won by Karopoulos. Kirk trying to knock down low. Quick shot, stopped by Harder. And a whistle. Puck may have been loose again there. Cats bench voicing their concerns about a couple of quick whistles here tonight. Puck comes free, knocked out to the point. Here's Kirk, a chance, deflected. Doesn't make it to the net, now a chance. There, blocked off. It was Schultzauer with the chance. Charlotte Coots around the board for Jackson. Trying to get it out back the other way. Jackson, back around. Montgomery with it. Boards, Kirk. On the boards, now Jackson is there, trying to slap it around for Dahlia Coots, kept in the zone though by the Ice Cats. Charlotte Coots back, behind the net, Jackson to Montgomery. Up the wing, Norris trying to get it past Kirk, she will. Maybe a 3-on-1 here for the Sharks, 3-on-2 as Vanderstel catches up. Here's Norris, shot, stopped by Rutledge. And a whistle. Charlotte and Dahlia Coots were coming up the wing, Norris tried the shot. Was a good look, but Rutledge able to make the save. Off the face-off, puck comes up the wing. Copeland coming to the middle, flipping it across. Here's Stewart, knocks it down, chipping it to the corner. Here's Walker, getting it free. 10-10 to go. Walker up to the point, deflected. Copeland will get it. Has Schubert to the middle. That pass missed. Off the boards, knocked down. Schubert scores yellow, flipped in down the ice, and that'll be icing with 9:55 to go. Little on the face-off, back to the point. Santoriza's shot block. Across, here's a chance. Deflected. Knocked down by Polarin. Sharks looking to go back the other way. Here comes Holmick. She's going to have a breakaway. Holmick beats the defense. In all alone. It's a 2-on-0. Holmick across for Coots. Stopped by Rutledge. Good look there for Dahlia Coots. Puck comes back to the point. Kept in the zone, but Tsitsanis will take it back the other way. She push it forward for Karopoulos. No knockdown. Back the other way. Holmick into the zone again. She'll come up the wing. Holmick waiting. Bows off to Tsitsanis, putting it down behind the net. Santoriza behind the net. Puck kicks out to the point, kept in the zone by Jackson, sent to the net, stopped by Rutledge. Behind the net, Dahlia Coots, tapping it around. Waiting, trying to send it across, that was knocked down, pushed forward. Tsitsanis trying to get there, Boost will get there first for the Sharks. Ice Cats will make changes, so will the Sharks. Boost for Polarin as she heads off the ice. Puck goes down behind the net. Up the wing, Aikens, broken up, knocked ahead. Copeland couldn't get it past Karopoulos. Copeland, though, able to get it back. She'll look back at her defense, backhanding it there to Pinful. She'll go up the wing for Copeland, looking to knock it in. Deflected into the zone, icing waved off. Behind the net, knocked free by Norris, tried to slide out front. It goes back to the play, Montgomery. Looking for Norris, knocked down, Montgomery. To the corner for Copeland, puck goes behind the net. It's turned over by Karopoulos. Here's Pinfold getting it free, trying to send it to the net, knocked down, puck's in the middle. And it's Ava Woods handing it out the other way. Scores yellow, backhanded across to Montgomery, up ahead, Pinfold deflects it into the Newt-Tecumseh bench and out of play as the Sharks will make a change with 8 minutes to go. Charlotte Coots wins the draw there against Marin Thorpe. Puck down behind the net. Stewart spins back, goes across, boost. Up the wing, flip to the middle. Here's Coots, maybe a break for Walker up the wing. Here comes Shea Walker trying to beat the defense. Walker now going to spin back, resets, puts it down behind the net for Shubrich. Shubrich. He's out, back to the point, boost. Sent across, here's Stewart, has space, gets it to the middle. Shubrich knocked down, deflected around. Coots tried to get it on her stick, it'll go to the corner. Against the boards, Boost chips it down low for Walker. She backhands it to the open side. Schubridge is there. She'll go back to the point for Stewart. Boost setting off on a change. 4 Sharks in the zone for now. Behind the net, Walker gets it free of Taylor. Behind the net, Walker thought about driving, tries the wraparound, stopped by Rutledge. Rebound Walker, flipping it out front. Schubridge a chance up on the top of the net, and it goes behind. Rebound comes free to Thorpe. 7:15 to go, looking to clear. Stewart knocks it down, but it does come out of the zone. Sharks will reset. There's Jackson at the red line, trying to flip it forward. Gets it to Schubridge into the zone. Ice Cats trying to slap it back out the other way. Charlotte Coots keeps it there, flips it in. And Barrie will get the change they're looking for. Kirk calms it down, going around for Taylor. Knocked down by Norris. Big collision there. Norris took down Taylor. And then overskating now was Whitaker. Behind the net, Pinfold waits, slides it back. Copeland, 6:40 to go. Back to the point, Jackson. Jackson across, knocked down by Whitaker. Kept in the zone by Montgomery. The puck goes down behind the net. Pinfold battling for it, try and knock it free. And the puck will go back out the other way. Here comes Aikens. Up the wing, 6:30 to go. Aikens in the zone, trying to cut through 2, but the Sharks defense shuts that down. Penalty coming. Looks like it's against Newtek. So Aikens to the box for a hold. The Sharks will go back to the power play. They're 1 for 5 on this, their 6th attempt of the night. Copeland, Norris, back to the point, Montgomery. She'll step up, sending it to the net, deflected and wide of Rutledge. Rebound, clearing attempt. Montgomery gets to the point to keep it in. Here's Copeland, sent across. Jackson steps up, back to the point, Montgomery. She'll send it down low. Copeland was open. It slid just wide. That hit the official. Pinfold around the boards. Copeland can't get there. Can Montgomery? No, it'll come out of the zone, and the Sharks will regroup. Norris looking for a change. She'll get it. Here's Copeland off the boards into the zone. Chasing after it is Jackson. Trying to catch up to it. Jackson down low, looking to get it free. Copeland coming after it as well. Puck knocked down low. Jackson behind the net. Grabbed by the Ice Cats. Puck goes up the boards. Montgomery. Down low. Montgomery now, shot deflected, and that goes wide. Battle for it, Newt-Tecumseh on it. Here's Little, looking to clear. That's whistled down the length of the ice. 56 seconds go in the power play. 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd period. Delia Coots. Cross, 4 scores yellow. Going, she's upended, penalty coming to Newt-Tecumseh. Is the call. Sharks power play 1 for 5 right now, and they'll have 2 attempts here, and we're going to get a violation on the Newt-Tecumseh bench. So 3 players in the box now for the Ice Cats. Off the face-off, puck knocked out to the point. Scorgiello steps up and shoots, that's blocked. Puck will come out of the zone and back the other way. Stewart with the puck. Up the wing. Stewart across, Dalia Coots into the zone, gets around Demel, steps up, shot, stop there by Rutledge, rebound. Ice Cats looking to clear. And that's pinned down and whistle. Off the face-off, Walker back to the point, Jackson across for Boots. Boots to the net, deflected wide. Here comes Jackson. Down low, Schubert, back to the point, Charlotte Coots. She'll send a shot, stopped there by Rutledge again. So now Aikens will come out of the box. It'll remain 5-on-3 due to the extra penalty. So 8th power play attempt by the Sharks tonight. Here's Walker, puck goes to the corner. Shea Walker behind the net. Coming around, back to the point for Boos. 4 minutes to go in the third. Boos up the wing, sent across. Schubert back to the point. Boos steps up, here's a shot. Stop, rebound, Charlotte Coots knocks it free. Jackson couldn't get there. Karopoulos gets a tip on it, and it's knocked back out the other way. Charlotte Coots back across to Boos. Abby Boos up the wing. Coming into the zone. Boos drops it back. Schubert has space. She'll drop it back for Boos. 5-on-3 here for another 37 seconds. Sent across, deflected out front, and cleared wide. Good effort here on the penalty kill for the Ice Cats, keeping this game at 3-0. Here's Boos. Over to Jackson, back to Abby Boos. Has the only power play goal tonight for the Sharks. Now Jackson, she'll step up and fire. That's blocked by Schubert. Clearing attempt. Hit off of Jackson and out back the other way. That's knocked to the middle. Whitaker trying to get it back, intercepted, and into the zone. Charlotte Coots to the middle. Across, Walker working around the defense. Walker still has it. Stopped by Rutledge, and she'll get the rebound into the net. Nice play there by Walker. 2nd power play goal tonight for the Sharks, and it's 4-0. That's going to do it for Rutledge as well. Coming into the game in net for New Tech will be number 31, Ava Chiella. Not much Rutledge can do here late in the game in a 5-on-3 scenario for a while there. 3 straight penalties by New Tech, so that'll be whistled down quickly. Montgomery across for Scorgiello. Back to the point, Montgomery. Cross, Copeland, wide open, Scorgiello! That missed over top. Puck comes around, Montgomery couldn't keep it in. So drop it back to Scorgiello. Coming into the zone. That's knocked around. Sapsanis takes down Scorgiello into the zone. Here comes Little. Down behind the net. Wraparound attempt. Stop there. Knocked free. Scorgiello. The wing, flip forward, tip back the other way. We are back 5-on-5. Copeland into the zone. Here's Norris driving the lane. That goes wide and grabbed by Chilia and a whistle. Off the face-off, Homick trying to drive it to the net. That goes behind, looking for a wraparound. Homick tied up, puck goes into the corner and behind the net. And now whistled. Got another penalty. It's going to be against Homick. So this comes with power play 0 for 4 on the evening. Looking for a goal here for some momentum going into the weekend. Here's Wood behind the net, 1:40 to go. Homick will be in the box for the rest of the game unless the Ice Caps can score a goal. DeMellis pushed down behind the net. Stewart. Battle for it. Knocked down. Boost trying to push it ahead. Polarin gets it past DeMellis and the puck will go back down the ice. Here's Wood with it. 1:10 to go. Up the wing, Whitaker. Through the middle, Jacobs. Tip to Karopoulos. Karopoulos into the zone, 3-on-2. Up the wing, Karopoulos, a shot deflected to the net and it goes wide. Ice Caps getting close there again. Kirk flipping it down low. Final minute of play here in the third period of this one. Walker played ahead, cleared down the length of the ice. 40 seconds to go. Sharks look to close out this 4-0 victory. Shoebridge, first down there, pinning it to the boards. And that'll be whistled down. Off the face-off, Kirk with it. Puck goes around back the other way. New Tecumseh going to get it out of his own. Shoebridge backhands it out of play. It's 26 seconds to go now. Off the face-off, Sharks with it again. Jackson comes back, clears it down. Taylor to the middle, that's a turnover. Shoebridge down low, Walker's all alone and stopped by Julia. Shea Walker waiting for a second of the night there with 16 seconds left. So we'll do another face-off. We'll see if this is the last one. Face-off won by the Ice Cats. Not to lose that behind the net. Shoebridge trying to knock it free. Ice Wolves get it back. One final skate down the ice. Knocked out to the neutral zone. 4 seconds to go into the zone. Vanderstelt, one final chance. Stopped by Harder. One more save for her shutout, and that will do it. As the Barrie Sharks take this game by a score of 4-0. In the opening game of this series, the two teams will rematch on March 1st at 10:30 a.m. down in New Tecumseh. That's going to do it here tonight from the East Bayfield Community Center. For Kingsley McPherson, my name is Josh McCann. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Just keep it on.